Hello and welcome back to another scouting report from the Green and White podcast, brought to you by Argyle Life. This is the second time that Lauren's had to sit through that intro because we tried a second ago and Lauren's London Wi-Fi wasn't playing ball. So this is our second attempt. If you are seeing this, it means we've been successful, so you can relax. Lauren, please introduce yourself. Tell us where we can find you.
Hello. Yes, I have a feeling that that beautiful introduction is the reason that we've had to redo it. I just wanted to see it again. I just had to see it again. And so that's why we had to restart the recording. But yes, hi, I'm Lauren. I'm also known as Loz by some of the Stockport fans. But I am our usual preview person for the Scarf Bagara War, which is the original Stockport County podcast.
Very nice. So what is the Scarf Bagara War? Other than your podcast, where's the name come from?
So the name has come from one of our old managers, Danny Bagara, who was our manager from 1989 to 1995. And it's arguably, and this is definitely arguably, I see it on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it, quite a lot, the most successful manager we've ever had. He saw such a big change in our history. We were really, really successful under him. We got promoted a couple of times off at Wembley. So he has a massive sort of part in Stockport's history. And we also, there's a lot of our main song is The Scarf My Father Wore.
Right.
And so it's kind of an homage to our song and to one of the fathers of Stockport County. So that's where the name comes from.
Brilliant. A lot of the guys who watch this will be interested to know the backstory, that's for sure. Thanks for explaining. So, talking of Wembley, you didn't even get there last season after looking like that would be the last,
Wow.
the worst case scenario looked like it was going to be Wembley, and yet it just sort of all went a bit flat at the wrong time for you in the playoffs.
Yep, bringing
Great
up
season.
old scars already.
Yeah, well, we've had to talk about our pre-season on the Reciprocal podcast, so I'm going to make you hurt as well. It was probably an unexpectedly successful season, but nonetheless a really good season. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe you guys are all seeing it going to come right from the start, but probably a bit deflated. But were you thinking going to go again next season after once you got your heads around it?
Yeah, I think so. We got promoted the season before last,
Yeah.
and under Dave Challoner, we've been super we've looked just like a strong team. We've been super successful. Obviously, we lost in the playoffs before we got up. So yeah, we lost in the playoffs, then got promoted. So given we lost in the playoffs again, I'm hoping there's a pattern there. But no, we finished League Two in a really good position. I felt like we just looked like a really complete team, and we didn't have that much of a change between the teams, and just looked like a strong squad going into the season. So I don't know whether I'd necessarily say it was a surprise that we ended at least in a strong position. I don't know whether I thought we would have ended up in the playoffs. I think I did say that I thought we'd end in the playoffs, but I am quite an optimistic fan. But I definitely thought we'd be up there. I thought we'd be in and at least sort of, giving it a good stab. So it was quite disappointing in the end to be in the playoffs and then lose it in the semi-final. It was semi-final, yeah, yes, it was.
Yeah.
So it was a bit heartbreaking, to be honest. But I did think that the team looked as strong as they'd looked before. We'd really strengthened, and yeah, I think it was quite a deserved position to end in, really. I also don't think that it would I always hate saying this, but I don't think it would have been a good idea for us to get promoted straight away, because I felt then what we'd struggle because we hadn't done enough sort of embedding, strengthening overall. So yeah, I think we ended where we should have done last season.
Fair enough. Fair enough. And you were quietly thankful that, as much as you'd have enjoyed promotion, maybe did you a favour staying down. Do you still feel that way now? And how does the rest of the fan base do you feel? You say you're optimistic. That doesn't resonate with, I think, a lot of our fans. We tend to be more of a miserable bunch. How do you think feeling like? Are people glad that you've got to have that season to maybe establish yourselves, or a bit worried now? I mean, it's not an awful start, believe
I
me.
think it depends.
It would snap your hand off for your
Yeah,
current results and position, but nevertheless, maybe some are a little bit wobbly.
I think it depends who you talk to in the fans. The same with everyone, right? That you have the optimistic fans, you have the pessimistic fans. I think obviously everybody wanted to go and get promoted, and I'm not saying that I'm sat here going, oh, if we got promoted I would have been so sad. Absolutely not. I would have been the loudest person celebrating it, probably. I think that looking back at it now, I think it was right, and I think that there are a lot of fans that say, it was disappointing to be so close and yet so far, but nobody looked at it as a bad thing. I don't think anybody looked at it and thought we should have been promoted. Why weren't we promoted? And kind of got a bit angry about it. I think the general consensus was we've had a really good season as our first season back in League One. Let's now crack on and go and do the same again and have a great season. I think that's kind of the whole vibe around the whole club at the moment has been a lot more positive than it has in previous years. I think that's kind of a given not so long ago we were in regional football. So back then, everyone, I can remember going to a game expecting to losing, going home,
Yeah,
and the grumbling around that. And I think a lot of fans do know that feeling.
yeah,
I do think that on the whole, it's been a case of everyone's been enjoying the growth that we've had, the rise that we've had, and thinking this is what the club needs at the moment, and we're enjoying a really good spell of like good investment, really really good owner that's like in on it and willing to put the money in, and also putting money in for not just the playing part, but really supporting the whole club. There's been so much investment around the rest of the club. Looking at, we've just had the ground be approved for renovations. We're going to get a big extension on the ground that's been in the works for a long time. So there is a really positive feel about the club. I think you always get I call them bedwetters. I think a lot of people do. You always get them, and I think that we've not started off this season as brightly as we did last season. That could be a lie in terms of the numbers, but that's how it's felt. And we've had a lot worse performances this season than we did in previous ones. I think that doesn't look like a squad at the moment that we recognise. We've lost quite a lot of our now promotion winning players in a bid to, sort of become a championship looking club. And in doing so, we've lost a lot of those players, and we've lost a bit of that sort of cohesion, shall we say. And I think that our performances have kind of shown that, and you do get a fair few fans online starting to go, we're rubbish, we're rubbish. They're not necessarily wrong, but I think that they are. I also think that they are being a bit dramatic in the nicest way possible. I think, it's the start of the season. let the guys grow into it. We've had quite a lot of injuries at the start of the season as well, so we're missing Camps, who was vital for us in the midfield. He's out injured. Luckily, he's coming back in about 2-3 weeks, so that will be good. But yeah, we've had quite a few players out injured at the moment, so I think people are jumping the gun a little bit, and we're not in a bad position in the league either. So I think people need to
snap
take
your hand
what
off.
they've got.
Let's snap your hand off.
Yeah, we could
so
definitely be in worse.
So it's something of a transitional period. Is that what you're saying? You're thinking that there might be a bit of bedding in, and then you could fly, you could take off? Just
Yeah, I would say yes and no. I think we've actually, so even though I've said that we've lost the core people that went up with us, I think a lot of that was a case of a team that had played together for 2 seasons beforehand, and so we're on this sort of drive, but some of the players were playing at their level. And so the plan was to invest, get some players that were possibly slightly stronger than that, and I think on the whole we have done that. But you get the fans that go, "Oh, the performances aren't great. Why did we get rid of X, Y, and Z?" You know, there's Alafe, who's at Charlton at the moment. That everyone's like, we're missing him, and I've been vocal about this. I didn't love Alafe. That was my own personal thing. Nothing against him.
You're having a laughy. Sorry, I had to
that was good. I've actually not had anyone make that joke to me before, so you know, that's
I thought
the
you
first.
said you heard it a million times, but anyway.
No,
it's that bad. No one else bothered to make it.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone stopped themselves beforehand. But yeah, we're missing things like players like that. But I think we've actually got a fair few that are still as a backbone. I don't think we've actually had that many ins and outs overall.
No,
but I do think that
so I was say from
the
following it,
players
so Laffy only looked like the real big outgoing. The rest seem to be guys who really, you know, you weren't looking to move on. So it does look like you've kept the majority of the spine in a sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that the players that we've brought in just weren't fit. They'd either been injured at the end of the season or injured in pre-season. And so I think it's one of those cases where there's a lack of confidence as a team. And I think that I'm hoping that the team will end up getting that confidence, gelling a little bit more. Like I say, we either get a really good first half, or I say really good. You'll get there was a really good review show from this week, which said that the really good was a 5 out of 10, and we went to a 3 out of 10.
Right.
And I think that that's kind of where we are at the moment, that we're not pulling the best performances. We are still getting results, which is something that I do like to see, because if we're going for promotion, we need to be getting results from performances. We shouldn't be getting those results.
Yeah.
But the issue is we also need to actually get better results, so we're not having to grind out these better performances, so we're not having to grind out these results.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it's something that sounds quite familiar to Argyle fans. Really, we won the league with 101 points this league. You know, ahead of a Sheffield Wednesday team packed with guys who are still playing in the Championship now, and ahead of Ipswich, who went up again the following year. You know, they got promoted behind us to the Championship, and then they got promoted to the Premier League. And we sort of struggled in the Championship a little bit with different things, lack of quality, and maybe our fans were sort of the opposite of yours, maybe moving some players on, say, oh, these guys aren't good enough. And that yet when they did move on, we got better players in, but you don't necessarily understand the value of synergy and relationships
Yeah.
and understanding within a team, even if levels are maybe a little bit lower in terms of outright ability. The understanding, the relationship adds that sort of extra 10 or 20%. So when you do lose the spine or certain components of a really successful team that's worked as a cohesive whole, it does take time. Even if the players are, inverted commas, better when they come in, they don't necessarily always look it, because they haven't got the understanding and the relationships that the previous guys did. So, that's something I think that we can totally understand. I'm glad that you said that your key midfielder's not coming back this weekend, but it's going to be 2 or 3 weeks. That gives us hope. But how much hope can you give us? You say that you're not stringing 90 minutes of football together at the minute. Do you think that gives us any hope at all on the weekend? You've seen our results and you've seen our, well, if you haven't seen our performances, then you think yours are bad. Whoa, you should don't watch our highlights, or do if you want to be encouraged ahead of Saturday. But you've probably seen that we've taken a few batterings. We've scored 4, conceded 13 in the 6 games in the league we've played. What do you see ahead of Saturday?
Yeah, I think I'm not sure how much hope I can give you. I will try my best to give you some hope, though. I think
You said you were a positive fan.
I am a positive fan. I am a positive fan, but I like to make friends in other fan bases too. So I think that we are currently playing in a system that I don't love. I think we are missing an extra pair of legs in the midfield. I think if we've had Hills on, who recently signed for us, we had him last season on loan, and we were really excited to get him back, and he currently doesn't look like the same player we had last season. He looks like he's just about 5 seconds behind the game, but it means that he's having to, put in an extra foot where he shouldn't. He's conceding more fouls. He got a red card the other week because he was caught out of position and had to pull down a clear goal scoring opportunity. I think, we're just not quite there yet. And I think we will be. And I think that eventually the team will become cohesive. But at the moment, we're playing with a 3 at the back. We usually suit a 4 at the back instead. And we're just missing that extra legs in midfield. I think that we're getting to a point now, especially if we get Woods on the pitch. Woods has just been, as always, really, really good. He's been we really missed him on the few games that we haven't played him. We tried to not play him 1 week. It was the end of August, the 23rd of August. We tried to not play him to rest his legs, and we just fell apart. There wasn't enough sort of not necessarily experience on the pitch in terms of like actual experience, but more sort of leadership. So if he's in the team, I would be a lot happier. We'll have to see about that. And obviously we just got some new signings as well on deadline day.
Lucky you.
We got 2 in. We've got Onyango, who was with us again last season, on loan from Everton, which it was the worst kept secret that has ever been around ever. Like he was a trialist for us, and everyone knew who he was. But that was deadline day, and then we had Danny Andrews, sorry, who had been at Cambridge last season, and he was only on a 1-month contract, which I didn't even know you could do. To be honest, I didn't even know you could do a 1-month contract.
Does it make sense? Just why would you?
Well, we did. And I actually thought he was immense for us. Immense might be a bit far, but he was actually putting in crosses. Dave Challoner likes to say we're a crossing team, but we've been really poor at putting in crosses. And Danny Andrew had been doing a really good job of that and actually put us in some dangerous positions, but he's now gone off to Exeter.
Boo.
I don't know whether we tried to
Boo.
sign him.
He must
I
be
don't like,
rubbish if he's gone to Exeter.
but I don't even know if we tried to sign him because he's only there till the end of the season. So it's not like they offered him. Well, I
Yeah,
don't know what they've offered. But we do have Ben Osborne coming as well from Derby,
yeah,
who I'm not sure if fans are that impressed by. Some people do seem to be. He played with Ollie Norwood at Sheffield United, I want to say.
yeah.
And so there should be a little bit of synergy there. I mean, it was a little while ago, but he's also an older player. I want to say 31, but I might, 31. Look at me go. And prone to injuries. So I don't know how much we are expecting from him, but he could fit in and help steady up the ship in the middle and also bring a bit of that leadership role that I said we were missing a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, I'm not sure whether that's given you any hope at all, to
I
be
hope he
honest.
and Norwood hate each other. I hope when they played together they couldn't stand each other, and then
Yeah, they're
they have
like, oh, I
a
haven't seen you in ages, and actually you're the worst.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be awesome. Yeah, we got a couple of signings on deadline day who might also one won't be because he's with the England. He was with the England under-20s and then got called up to the training with the senior team, which is sort of quite encouraging for us. Obviously, Borough Loney, I think his name is Law McCabe or Law McCade, which sounds like a cowboy B-list sort of
Yeah.
like Western star. But yeah, he won't be playing, unfortunately for us. But he, I think, has been brought in to add something in the middle. Yeah, we might see Owen Dale on the wing, but I'm not holding my breath on that one. He also came in on loan. Sounds like yours are a bit more maybe match ready than ours, sort of ready to sort of fit in and slot in and do make a difference. Is that so? You're saying you've been missing something in the middle? Is that? Do you think that's what he's been brought in for, to sit alongside Norwood and just have the nous to dictate?
Yeah, I think so. I think we do need to change to more of and to have some extra, like an extra player in the midfield. I think we need that. Who was it? One of the guys on our review show said that we currently look a little bit like a Christmas tree in our shape,
Yeah,
even though we've got a 3 at the back and we do kind of want a 4 at the back. But yeah, I think it's just in a case like we're just kind of missing that extra player around the middle. I think more than anything, he is also there to help with the sort of leadership and experience in the squad. Like I say, we've just lost Danny Andrew, who was an older player. He's come in. We've got some quite young players. Obviously, Nathan Lowe's still a teenager.
told you
We've
not to
got
talk about Nathan Lowe on the other show. We don't want to hear about Nathan Lowe.
um yeah, it's I think we just have I think he's come in to also give a bit more experience and a bit more of a level head because Brad Hills is also young. He's only 20, 21, 20. So yeah, it's just to give a bit more of a
Yeah,
general.
yeah. Keep standards high and sort of professionalism and all that. Keep the
Yeah,
rowdy youngsters in check. Make sure they're up to
exactly.
doing the right things. Yeah. So
Exactly.
even though you are not setting the world alight, you still surely think you've got enough to beat struggling Plymouth Argyle on Saturday. Am I right? Being the positive fan that you are.
I am a positive fan. I will try and never not back. That was so many
There's
double negatives in that. I will say,
a lot of words to
but
say, not a lot.
yeah, no. Hey, that's what I'm used to. Like that's what I'm here for. You know, that's kind of my job to continue
Fill my
to waffle.
minutes. It's good. Yeah.
Exactly. Um, but no, I try not to not back my boys when I can. And in this game, I think that we could probably pull something out the bag. The I think on the whole, even though our performances haven't been brilliant and we haven't been setting the league alight, I think that we have been doing a decent job of getting a result. Whether we deserve to or not, we've been at least getting 1 point, getting 3, and hopefully we'll be able to do the same at your guys' place. I would hope that the results that we've had recently will at least try and give them a bit more confidence.
I'd snap your hand off for a draw. I can't lie. The way things are going at the minute. So, score prediction then. Finally, if you can, Loz.
Yeah, finally, I will go for now. We are shaky in defence, and unless we change our shape, I cannot see that changing. And so I can't see us not conceding. I just can't see us not conceding. But I also think that our forwards have been getting more and more confident. They've been getting those goals basically, whether it's been in the cup or been in the league. And so I also can't not see us scoring a few. And so I'm gonna go 2-1 to Stockport. I think, I think we'll win it. I also think you guys will score.
That's exactly the same score that I picked for pretty much the same reasoning. We're looking slightly better defensively than we have been, which has been not hard, really. We've been a total shambles, but I don't think we're going to be good enough to keep you out. And I think you're not the strongest at the back. You're not quite worked out what's happening there, what's supposed to be happening. But then we're scoring less than a goal a game. So I can see us scoring, but I can't see us keeping a clean sheet. And I can see you nicking it 2-1. That's also my prediction. So great minds think alike.
So in sync.
Well, we're obviously just really, we know ball. Obviously,
we know ball.
We'll go and hammer you 3-0, or you'll paste us sort of like 4-2 or something. We'll both look really stupid. But
yeah, it's going to be an 8-goal thriller.
Yeah, but at least I'm, we reasoned the same way. So we'll take. If someone thinks the same way, that's always reassuring to me. So, Loz, thanks ever so much for coming on. Really appreciate it. And hopefully we'll see you again later in the season. And all the best for the rest of the season. As always, after Saturday has to be caveated.
And to you too.
Thank you. Cheers.